Welcome back, everyone. You listen to Huddle Up inside the Pizza Ranch studio. This is Johnny Mack, and let me tell you guys something. There's nobody in the room with me. I'm all by myself. These guys here, they're in the studio also. We're all in our own separate Pizza Ranch studios. We got the big fella up there, Guy Newcomb. We got my main man, the coach, DA. This last segment, we're going to talk a little bit about baseball. Let's say, let me rephrase that. We're going to talk all about baseball. Okay, Major League Baseball opened the season last week. Our favorite Cardinals are there. The Royals played, of course, this weekend also, and unfortunately, we had a Cubs fan on the scene. So we're going to talk a little bit about Cubs. And when I say a little bit, I mean we're just going to give you their record and we're going to keep it moving. But let me tell you something, big fella with the nice Missouri Sports Network hat on, looking all slim and trim, with the goatee sitting there with the little beard. Look at him. Don't start blushing. Are you blushing, Mr. Newcomb? Mr. Newcomb, the Redbirds, where are we sitting at right now? What are your thoughts on our first 6 games? And let's try to forecast the next 6 games. What do you see, buddy?
Well, Cardinals right now, they're 2-4 on the season. Offensively, the numbers are great. When you look at Paul Goldschmidt's hitting 450. Nolan Gorman's hitting 433. You can't keep him out of the lineup. And Jordan Walker has come up, and he's hitting 333. Got his first home run today in that game. Today had another RBI, but they still lose. Their pitching staff right now is just they just can't throw strikes, and they can't get anybody out. They are definitely not missing bats. Offensively, I think they're going to be one of the better teams in the league, especially with Jordan Walker hitting there and protecting. If Nolan Gorman comes around and lives, like we all thought he was going to, they're going to have a chance. And still interested in the new rules and the rule changes. I know the games right now are down 20, I think down 27 minutes per game from a year ago, which I think is great. I think the one thing the owners didn't plan on is that's 27 minutes you ain't got people,
Right.
buying beer and popcorn and peanuts.
Right.
And I think they may realize that at the end of the year. But with the Cardinals right now, of course, you had Tyler O'Neill's deal, in the game on Tuesday where he kind of got accused of loafing a little bit by the manager Marmal, and he kind of took it outside of the clubhouse, and I think he's going to have some repercussions just from the players. When you go to the media and you say, "Hey, this guy's he's loafing," and you saw him. If you watch the tape, you saw him slow down as he rounded third. But I think and DA, we talked about this, that there were some extenuating circumstances with him, rounding that base and getting thrown out of the plate, which would have made it a 4-2 game with 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up.
Well, DA, you have your take on it. I have mine. If a coach call, they're smart. They know how to manipulate the players and the system and the media. I don't think he says that just on a humbug. He said that to light a fire. There's a little bit more brewing underneath there, DA, with Tyler O'Neill. But that's just my thoughts. DA, what are your thoughts about the Cardinals and the Royals? And I'll let you speak a little bit. Let's talk about the Cubs a little bit also.
Yeah. One stat that kind of jumped out at me as far as the Cardinals are concerned is that their starters have given up 20 runs over the first 2 innings throughout the first 6 games. That kind of lets you know where, and hey, in my opinion, they've got a pretty solid starting staff. I really thought it'd be just the opposite. I thought it might be the bullpen that could be, your middle relievers and bullpen that could be part of the problem, or big question mark heading into the season. Cubs right now, they're young. They've got a new group. They're 2-3 right now. Their game today against Cincinnati got rained out. They're going to be lucky to be 500, I think, by the end of the year, and they'll have a big fire sale at when it's time to for the trade deadline. But Royals kind of in the same boat. They're 1-4. Greinke was on the bump last night. We do not have a final, but big news coming out of the Royals camp is their manager Quatrero is out with COVID. And you never know how a team's going to react to that, and God forbid it, start spreading throughout the team. Their big problem is they're batting 170 as a team. They just got to get the bats going, and somebody besides Salvador Perez has got to get going. Their pitching, their starters, overall have a 3.8 ERA, and I'm sorry, that's their team totals. Their starters have been very good. It's their bullpen that's been the issue, and they just got to start getting some offense going.
I think right now, Kansas City, the area, the city itself, they're still so high off that Chiefs Super Bowl victory that the Royals are taking somewhat of a back seat. Then they got the draft coming up. I spoke to someone up there. They said the city's just kind of on fire right now with the draft and the Chiefs, and just a good vibe in the city. And then Travis Kelce's doing some music thing up there this week. But amid all of that, that's not the big story. The big story is not the Chiefs. We don't care about the Super Bowl anymore, and we're going to edit out that Cubs stuff just for our listeners to know. You might not hear that. The big story in Kansas City, though, is not the Chiefs. It's not the Royals going 1-4. It's the story of the decade, and we got our own eyes on this story. Our own very own scoreboard guy has the latest on this Chiefsaholic that is still buzzing and lighting up the internet. Guy, please tell me the latest on where this guy is. Where is he?
We don't know where he is. And Guy Snacks, they put out a tweet, said, "Dear Chiefsaholic, we don't know where you are either, but if you come into a Guy's Deli, we'd love to see you, but we'll probably still call the police."
Guy, fill the audience in that might not know what's going on. Fill them in very quickly on what's going on.
Yeah, Chiefsaholic was a super fan. You'd see him with the Wolves outfit on at every home game. And then he started going on the road the last couple of years, and he would always end up on television because he would always get great seats that he'd had to pay for. But how he was paying for them was on the way to the games, he was robbing banks.
You can't make this up, folks.
Yeah. And he finally got caught in Oklahoma back in December or maybe November. Got caught, got put in jail, was waiting, the trial. He was on $200,000 bond. The judge lowered it to $80,000 because he talked him in. He needed to go out and go to a family event in Arizona, which was the Super Bowl. And they let him out on $80,000. He's not supposed to leave Oklahoma, and he cuts off his ankle bracelet, and now nobody knows where he's at.
In the wind.
He is in the wind. I thought they'd have caught him by now, but maybe they have. But as far as the last update, he has not been caught. This is the craziest story of the year. Robbing banks to buy tickets on his way to Chiefs games.
I'm gonna take my hat off for that. What I heard he's playing center field for the Kansas City Royals. Is that true or not, guy? That's what I heard. I heard he's batting $180 right about now.
He'd probably be the leading hitter.
Fellas, we're gonna keep our eyes on that story every week until he's caught. Make it so that we're gonna make that a part of our every week segment. Where is the Chiefsaholic fan, the super fan? Gentlemen, it's been a great show. Anything anybody want to add before we get out of here?
I don't have anything to add, but if you see this guy right here, I'll just put a picture of him up. That is the Chiefsaholic.
I love it. Call 911 and he might be armed and dangerous. All right. So look, everyone, it's been a great week. We'll see you again in 7 days. You're listening to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside of the Pizza Ranch studio. And I'll say this for everyone. Peace.
Peace out.